Breaking news, breaking news. Breaking it down, ladies and gentlemen, breaking it down. It has just been reported. I'm on with my good friend, Wayne Breezy. They were on Wayne Breezy and the great Mike Andrews giving all their commentary and everything else. I just happened to be on. I am off tonight, ladies and gentlemen, but it is a plethora, a smorgasbord, if you will, of 49er hits this weekend, and the weekend keeps going. We're looking at Fred Warner, all pro Fred Warner has come together with an agreement with the San Francisco 49ers for an extension. The extension, as Ian Rappaport reports, will be $63 million over the next 3 years, $56 million guaranteed. Oh, oh man, let the haters hate. Let them, let them just bask in it. Let me give it to y'all one more time. You know how I like to get. I love to see young men getting paid. All right. I do. And when that contract comes and you get that money, it hit me different. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Fred Warner, four-time Pro Bowler and All-Pro, Fred Warner, has just come together for the extension. $63 million over the next 3 years. This will be $56 million guaranteed. I haven't done the math, but it's quite lucrative. It's quite lucrative. It is. It will break down, man, and we just gonna talk about Fred Warner as I talk about it over the sample of the great OJ. I think this is 1973, but then it was brought forward by the wonderful Queen Latifah in New Jack City. For the love of money, get your money, get your paper. The Bible says, rejoice with those that rejoice and mourn with those that mourn. When somebody is getting paid, and it is deserving of the great Fred Warner. Let me pull up the rocket docket here. Let me add it to the stage here. Let's look back at him, ladies and gentlemen. Fred Warner initially had number 48. I'm glad he switched it up to 54. He is a four-time Pro Bowler and a four-time All-Pro. He has played very, very good for the San Francisco 49ers. And we're looking at since 2018 through 2024 season, he has amassed, what are we looking at? 897 combination tackles, 596 solo tackles, 328 of them were assists. He made the Pro Bowl and Pro Bowl and All Pro honors in 2020, 2022, 2023, 2024. Fred Warner, the key to our defense as a linebacker. This just hit me on different levels, ladies and gentlemen. This just hit me really, really hard. I wore number 56 in high school. Up until my senior year, I went on and wore 63 for one of the greatest linebackers that I played with. God rest his soul, Bunchy Wilkins. James Wilkins wore number 63. So when I see 63 million guaranteed and 56 million as his guarantee, no, 63 for the duration of the contract and 56 guaranteed, the numbers just jump out to me. They just jump out to me. And he's a linebacker, ladies and gentlemen. He's a linebacker. He put up these numbers last year: 131 combination tackles that includes solos and assists on a fractured I think it was his ankle or his lower leg. Could have been his foot. One of the two. But this guy toughed it out, man. Number 54 was out there giving you all he got. Detractors, debaters, master debaters, skepticism wizards, princes of pessimism are going to tell you, oh, well, he missed some tackles last year. He did this and he did that. He did that primarily because his mainstay, who was next to him, Dre Greenlaw, wasn't there. So he had to come up and, I don't know, I hate to say play out of himself, but as a great player, you realize sometimes that you might not have it all. And you have to put into play your skills to try to cover some things, try to be like a great player is like makeup. You know, usually quarterbacks get this notation or this lending of a compliment, but defensive players feel it too, because as a linebacker, you are the quarterback of the defense. So you feel like you have to do a little bit more if you're feeling that there's some areas of weakness that may not necessarily be tied up. And this is what Fred Warner was doing last year. You overextend yourself a little bit. Case in point, the great Michael Jordan back in the day, until Phil Jackson got with him and told him, look, you got to trust those guys around you, and you're going to have to bring them up and not just say, well, I don't trust them. I'm taking it over by myself. You probably can do that for a game or two against a good team like the Boston Celtics or the Detroit Pistons. But eventually you got to trust your guys. Well, it kind of works in a parallel universe, or very, very similar in football. You feel like you have to do a little bit more, knowing that you don't have Dre Greenlaw over next to you. You got, what's his name? DeAndre Campbell. And he ain't quite got it all, or my defensive lineman ain't quite all there, and my defensive end on the opposite side of the Nick Bosa ain't quite got it all. So you feel like you have to do more and take more shots and take, I don't want to say reckless shots, but you have to go beyond the scope of your job to cover up some makeup, or to be the makeup covering up some warts. You understand what I'm saying? And I think Fred Warner did that last year with the advent of the great Dre Greenlaw not being at his disposal, as well as a defensive line that was a little bit. No, let's be real. It wasn't a little bit. It was a lot of bit deficient. They couldn't stop a nosebleed with a dry rag. But nonetheless, he did this injured. Fred Warner signing or putting together the deal. He hasn't officially signed it yet, but it just speaks incredible volumes for the San Francisco 49ers. It speaks to the front office really taking their job serious. And there you go. Let me shout out the San Francisco 49ers front office. Y'all are handling y'all business here, man. Before the May 27 OTAs even begin, y'all out here doing your thing. You doing your thing. You doing your thing. We let go of some dead weight, or some, I don't want to call it dead weight, but we'll call it questionable folks that may have taken some money that we really need for those that are truly productive and giving you all they got. A lot of people will say the mainstream and lamestream media will say, "Oh man, look at all the players they lost. Oh Lord, they done lost Aaron Banks. Oh my God, what are they gonna do about Aaron Banks and Talanoa Hufanga? Oh my goodness, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna? They lost so much. But in truth, in the reality, if you are a member of the faithful, if you really went week to week with me, or week to week with some of the other great content creators that we have, week to week, breaking down film, looking at the PFF grades, we got rid of some superfluous people who were not necessarily giving you everything they had, or perhaps they did not amount to the money that we were given. It wasn't efficient money. You know what I'm saying? So we'll let the lamestream and the mainstream and those who are looking for all 32 teams, those who probably think the Cowboys are the greatest thing since sliced bread, we'll let them think what they think, but we know what we let go of. Truth, the Dre Greenlaw thing, that's a dent. That one registers. I love Dre Greenlaw. Wish we could have kept Dre Greenlaw, but the rest of that, man, let's be real. Let's keep it a buck. Let's be 100. Y'all about can have that, man. Aaron Banks blowing blocks, it ain't a big deal. It really ain't. Who else stepped out of the building? Devondre Campbell. You know how I feel about Devondre Campbell. Okay, you go. Even DJ Humphries, who was supposed to sign here, he's apparently not gonna sign, or he hasn't signed, or don't want to sign, or something like that. Okay, it really ain't. You ain't played it down for us anyway, so it is fine. It is fine. If you don't want to be here, the great Mike Tomlin from the state of Virginia, Newport News, Denby High School, said, "We want volunteers. We don't want hostages. And if it feel like you a hostage, then do good, dude. Go ahead and we all right. We will be all right without you. I'd rather be without you." My main man in the mix, Kylie Young is here. Miss Violet. Hey, Miss Violet, go Niners. She out here representing and hanging with me. Thank you so much, Miss Violet. Kylie Young says Jalen Moore. Jalen Moore was our swing tackle. If they're going to pay a premium price in Kansas City for Jalen Moore, okay. You just lost the Super Bowl because your tackles were inept. Okay. Mooney Ward. Yes, sir, Kylie. Mooney Ward is a man. I love Mooney Ward. I do. I really, really do. And the tragedy that we faced last year really culminated with the great Mooney Ward, with his the passing of his beautiful little daughter, man, and God rest her soul. She is in heaven right now amongst the little children. I think it's the book of Matthew, the 19th chapter, that says heaven is made up of these ones. Jesus is referencing the children. Heaven is made up of these. And she's somewhere around God's throne right now. Amen. Glory to God. But we went through so much that all people are doing is laying it at the feet of our leaders like Brock Purdy, and laying it at the feet of our leaders like Fred Warner. But man, that 2024, woo, baby. Come on, somebody talk to me. Nevertheless, as Pat Summerall would say, nevertheless, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. The deals are coming through. And again, I'm going to give y'all that news as I get it. The breaking news that comes forth and announces itself. Stand by. Breaking news, everyone. The extension is being given to the great Fred Warner of the San Francisco 49ers. It is an extension deal worth $63 million. Give me the music. Come on. $56 million. Guaranteed for the great Fred Warner. Our Fred Warner, our middle linebacker. He is the Mike. There's a Will. There's the Sam. Come on. Some have a Joker, but Fred Warner is the Mike. He's the man in the middle, and he has been rolling for quite some time, ladies and gentlemen. $56 million guaranteed. This has been reported by the great Adam Schefter as well as Ian Rappaport, and they don't put their name on nothing but what is real. I got some people in the chat coming in. Christian Carver, Fred and Brock getting that paper. Yeah, man, for the love of money. Yeah, no doubt. Staying in John Witherspoon's wood, getting that paper. It's John Witherspoon. Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, man. I got you. I got you, Christian. That's my name, man. He's South Carolina dude. Juan is in the building. Juan said this offseason got to be the best one we've seen in a while. It has. It truly has, John. Because, comparative so to the other off seasons, particularly with that of, man, going back, I guess what we started with, is it Debo or Nick Bosa? When they dragged this thing out and you're making decisions in late August and, the week before the first game, the season opener, I remember a lot of us posseed up and went to Pittsburgh for that first week, and Nick Bosa had just signed his deal. It don't do nothing but mess the club up, man. It's nothing good from dragging it out and having everybody, high stakes drama. You're not going, it didn't do anything. And last year was a great example of it. Handle your business early so you can get to the business of football, so you can get to the implementations of a defense, so you can get to the iterations of our offense and the subtleties and nuances. You don't want any distractions, and I am agreeing with you 100%, Christian. We done handled our business and handling it early. Juan says this offseason is the best in the world. Juan, I'm echoing the sentiment. We got Stoic in the building. It happened. Yes, sir. It did. We getting it done here today. Sup, my domers. Oh, man, he had the Golden Domers. Shout out to all the Golden Domers out there. We got Wi-Fi in the building. As long as you got some Wi-Fi, Hey, you can be on the computer. Wi-Fi here to support your horrible takes. Hey, Wi-Fi, as long as you support them, as long as you're a great subscriber, please support my horrible takes. What do you got? Dome. Taking off the glasses. Yeah, the cleaner, man. It looked like I just washed my car a little while ago too. Never wash your car and with the weatherman telling you it's not going to rain. Every time I wash that car, it rains. I do. Does that happen to everybody else? You wash the car and instantly watch it rain. Watch it rain. But I got a trick for him today. I washed it, dried it, microfibered it, knocked down the wheels, put some Armor All on it. It's not Armor All, it's Meguiar's. And I put it in the garage. So even if it come and see me, it ain't gonna come and see me. So I have outsmarted the car wash gods. What we got here? Does Warner hold the keys to the team? Yes. All 53 players hold the key to the team and the coaching staff. Warner holds a plethora more than most, but we can never say, and this is, I don't know when this began. I really can't trace its roots. I probably can if I do some investigative reporting. When we started generalizing and putting everything at the feet of one or two people. But football, man, real football, it takes a team. It takes a team like none other. It is the ultimate team sport. But I guess with the advent of fantasy football and whatever, what have you, everybody thinks one guy can do it or two guys can do it. One quarterback can make your fortune. One cornerback. We get into this sensationalization of it. Just all you got to do is one person, and they had him. They had that. Man, this is a team game. You got to have it all. You got to have it all. Now, within every team member, within every core, within every we'll call it meeting office of your tight ends, of your linebackers, of your offensive linemen, of your defensive linemen, of your safeties, of your cornerbacks. It's really good when you can have a Pro Bowler, a Hall of Famer, an All Pro, captaining that, being a leader, be, know, and do. And Fred Warner has just simply been that guy, man. Fred Warner's a leader. Fred Warner, and I am so biased. I'm going to go ahead and take myself on out of it. My cousin Mikey might be watching, who is the greatest linebacker in the Terror family. He'll be modest and say it was me, but truly it was him. It's a Shannon Sharpe kind of Sterling Sharpe kind of deal. I was always the second best skill. But as a linebacker, we affect the defense more so than any other position because we affect the front seven to stop the run, and we can drop back and be in the passing game as well, or sometimes we can blitz and affect it that way. A linebacker is ambidextrous and amoeba, if you will, to really bolster the production of a defense. Nothing great will come of your defense if the linebacker ain't right. So I will self-admit, as a linebacker, Fred Warner hits me different. With him signing for $63 million, I wore 63 my senior year, $56 million I wore for Lawrence Taylor my junior and sophomore year. It hit me different, ladies and gentlemen. I can't even lie. We love it. those numbers register to me. As a matter of fact, going back to Brock Purdy's contract real quick, I'm gonna tell you something. And this is gonna be my show tomorrow, but y'all already on there. And please drop by Terradome tomorrow. Wolfie's not gonna be there. I'm gonna go ahead and do it solo. I might bring the boys on. We'll talk about some NBA stuff, but that being Callie Young and Twin Empire. But I had Fred Warner, Brock Purdy's contract. Numbers hit me different in theology. When you go to class and stuff, they have something called gematria, and gematria is the sense of numbers. I don't know if y'all can see my Hebrew alphabet on to the side right here. I don't think it's showing. I don't want to move this camera. Lord, don't let me knock this camera over. This would be so embarrassing. So embarrassing. But on to the side right there, I have the Hebrew alphabet and numbers. And all numbers mean something when you bring them up in your biblical studies, in your prophetic studies. And when Brock signed for that $265 million, I was kind of hoping, and I don't want to take no paper from my man Brock. Shout out to Brock Purdy, ladies and gentlemen. That was last week. I went on live with that as well. I don't want to take no money out your pocket, Brock, but it would have been so apropos. It would have been poetic justice. It would have been so Matthew 20:16, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. If you would have went on the sign for $262 million, because you were the 262nd pick in the draft. I would have loved that. I would have said, look, the very last pick is signing for $262 million. He was signed 262nd, and now he's about to make $262 million. That ain't number Jesus. And then, but I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna drop a nugget on y'all. This is how deep you have to get into the spirit, grow in dimension, in degree. 2, 6, and 5 add up to 13. Come on. Did that hit anybody else? 2, 6, and 5 add up to 13. And with it being $181 million, that's 1 + 8 + 1, that's 10. You supplanting Jimmy G, who wore number 10. If they would have just bumped up the money to your guaranteed money and made it, I don't know, 184, that would have added up to 13 too. So, it's 6 1/2 dozen. I'm going deep in the numbers on y'all. Nonetheless, Fred Warner, ladies and gentlemen. Fred Warner. Let me come with my breaking news, Joan. Let me hold on. Let me get it. Let me get it together. Fred Warner. Breaking news, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, Fred Warner has agreed and will sign for $63 million with 56 guaranteed. Our linebacker, Fred Warner. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause. Give a round of applause here, right there. A round of applause. Fred Warner, man, you have done nothing but ball. You have done nothing but lead. Looking back at his stats, I'm looking at them right now. If y'all can't see it, I will try to blow it up a little bit for you. Hopefully I'll mess that up. We'll go like that. All right, that's a little bit better. Fred Warner, man, just came in the door. I said it before. I never let the mic magnetize me no more. He came in 2018, played 16 games, started 16 games. He had 124 every year. Look at it since 2018. History is best rewarder of our research. The same guy you were before is the same guy you gonna be with a little bit more money in your pocket. 124 tackles in 2018, 118 in 2019, 125 in 2020, 137 in 2021, 130 in 2022, 132 in 2023, and in 2024, last year, with a broken foot or a fractured ankle that we learned about. Fred Warner put up 131 tackles, ladies and gentlemen. Give a round of applause. Round of applause for Fred Warner, man. He went out there and balled. He made all pro, first team, and Pro Bowl selections. 6 votes for Defensive Player of the Year in 2023. And that ain't all, man. Tackles for losses, 5 in 2024, 6 in 2023, 6 in 2022. Fred Warner out here getting it. He has signed, or he will sign. He has come to together on agreement with 56 million guaranteed, up to $63 million. $63 million on a 3-year deal. Man, I ain't got nothing but wonderful things to say about that. Now you're gonna make me hit my music, boy. When the players get paid, I gotta give it to you. Fred Warner, ladies and gentlemen. Fred Warner, breaking news. $63 million. 56 guaranteed. I'm pretty sure it makes him the highest paid linebacker in the National Football League. Don't quote me, but if you ain't there, you can get some cheese on the Whopper. Good man, incredible dude. And his wife and him have the podcast. They do content creation as well. Shouting out to them. I see my man Papa J is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Papa J. What's up, man? He's shouting out at Tommy. 49ers being a linebacker factory the last Wi-Fi. You ain't never lied. We going back. We just inaugurated, or we just installed a Hall of Famer in the great Patrick Willis out of Ole Miss. Patrick Willis. We done had Chris Borland here. We done had Takeo Spikes. We've had the great Navarro Bowman from the DMV. For those of y'all don't know, Navarro Bowman played middle school basketball in Maryland with one Kevin Durant. And to a man, Kevin Durant will tell you Navarro Bowman was the dude. Kevin Durant goes to like the 9th grade, and he went from 5'10" to about 6'9". And Navarro Bowman stayed at like 6 feet. He was like, well, I guess football is the way to go. And Kevin Durant just kept on growing. Kevin Durant's like 6'11". He won't admit to 7 feet, but if you 6'11", man, stretch it out somehow. Get to 7 feet. Guys know what I'm talking about. Pause. Just go ahead and be 7 feet, man, and got the silkiest jumper you ever want to see. And for him to say, man, when we was in school, Navarro Bowman he was that dude. Kevin Durant is saying that. So I'm just giving credence to Wi-Fi, the football factory of linebackers. And we just have we had Mike Singletary as our head coach. Didn't quite work out well. But nonetheless, we do really, and this goes back to Hacksaw Reynolds. He was number 64 way back in the day. Some of y'all got to look it up. Our first Super Bowl, Hacksaw Reynolds wore number 64. Yeah, 64. I was 11. And Hacksaw Reynolds, the reason why they call him Hacksaw Reynolds, I don't even know his first name, but it's rumored. And if all of y'all seen the movie Any Given Sunday, when Lawrence Taylor cuts Jamie Foxx, Steaming Willie Beeman's car in half, they said Hacksaw Reynolds cut somebody's car in half. I think they took that depiction from Hacksaw Reynolds. So we and Keena Turner and I think I mentioned Takeo Spikes. We always been this factory of linebackers. Jerry and Joe and John Taylor, Roger Craig, Steve Young, and our offense gets the notoriety, but the San Francisco 49ers have been predicated on sound defense and quick strike defense and really good defenders for years. Bill Walsh believed in that. George Seifert believed in you ain't doing nothing without a sound defense. And shout out to Carlton the Truth Williamson, Dwight Licks Hicks, Deshaun Gosen, Ronnie Lott, all of them, man. We all been about the defense, and within the defensive structure, you must have good linebacker, and you must stop the run. You must get to the passer. Shout out to Fred Dean. Shout out to Bryant Young, and all of them, man. So when I see the defensive payday coming around, it's Jack Reynolds. Thank you, Papa J. It's Jack. I just remember Hacksaw. Have you heard that story, John Papa J, about Hacksaw Reynolds cut the dude car in half? I don't know what it was for. I don't know if he was popping off like Jamie Foxx was popping off in the movie, but he cut somebody with a hacksaw. It wasn't a chainsaw. Lawrence Taylor used a chainsaw in Any Given Sunday. Hacksaw just, he went he went at it hard. So it's all good. My man Tommy Huxley in the building. What's up, Tom? Kenny Norton, Plummer, Lee Woodall. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We get down with the linebackers. Carl the Tooth Williams from it. No. It's Carlton the Truth Williams, but in Living Color, man, they was different. They would take off on anything. It was yeah, I know what you thought about the Tooth Williams, but it was Carlton the Truth Williams. We drafted 3 rookie quarterback, Eric Wright, Ronnie Lott, and Carlton the Truth Williams in the 1980 draft. Might have been 81. The year we went to the Super Bowl, we had 3 rookies back there, Dome patrolling, and the great Ray Rhodes. God rest his soul. Ray Rhodes was the defensive back coach, and physical, man. They was physical. They mess around if you want. It wasn't no defenseless receiver back then. You can knock a man clear out, and God bless it. That's the way this game was supposed to be. And they took no shorts, man. Dwight Licks Hicks was back there, dome patrolling. Ronnie Lott was a corner. Ronnie Lott is, that's why I call Ronnie Lott the greatest defensive back ever. And what I mean by that, I'm making a differentiation. Deion Sanders is the greatest cornerback that ever played the game. But Ronnie Lott, as a defensive back, Ronnie Lott made the Pro Bowl at strong safety, free safety, and cornerback. It hasn't been anybody to do that yet. Anybody else? No, they haven't come close. It might have been he might have made it as a safety and a corner. They might have made it as a strong safety and a safety. They might have made it as a corner and a strong safety, but Ronnie did it at all three positions. That's why I got to give it up. The greatest defensive back to ever play in the National Football League, Ronnie Lott, no question. And they all came in one draft. They had three rookies back there. And oh man, that's a great trivia question. I'll try to find out who the other cornerback was. It was two safeties and a quarterback, or who the other safety was. But that was our get out. Defense has always been a staple of the San Francisco 49ers. It just didn't get the notoriety. But to win championships, you got to have the defense. You got to have Dwayne Board for North Carolina A&T. You got to have Hacksaw Reynolds. You got to have Fred Dean, who came in a mid-season move from the great Bill Walsh from San Diego. This goes back, man. This goes back. And even when we won in our last winning in 94, we went out and got Ricky Jackson. We went and got who was on there? I know Tim Harris, Richard Dent, good ball players. And it starts with the linebacker. That linebacker is going to affect your front seven as well as your back seven in passes. And then you can use him on blitzes, and he could just neutralize stuff. And Fred Warner is that dude. He's the one calling the plays. He's the one with the dot on the back of his head, the green dot. Fred Warner, he is all you want. I didn't pull up the PFF grades. I probably should. I might do that in a minute. Let me take this down. But Fred Warner, I remember tracking it. Fred Warner was in the top 3 of linebackers in the National Football League. Bobby Wagner had a really good year, and the kid from Philadelphia, Braun, I think his name is Braun. He had a really good year. Pat Swilling was a great. Hey, there you go. His story said Pat Swilling was there in 94. He was coming from the New Orleans Saints, man. They had a plethora. Ricky Jackson, Swilling, and a little short one who went on to Carolina. They were good, man. Them linebackers count. Eric Wright was a bad. They were loaded. That defensive backfield was loaded back in the day because defense is going to win you championships. You know, I don't know. Well, I do know. Let me take a poetic breath. It started happening around 2009, man. Colin Cowherd used to get on the herd, and I was a faithful herd watcher back when it was on FS1 early in the day. He started just really generalizing and making it simple for everybody to say the quarterback is the most important position of the game. So as long as you got a good quarterback, you're going to win. I can tell who's going to be in the playoffs just judging by their quarterback. He started making it really. He started dumbing it down for the casual fan. Case in point, this past couple of seasons, we had a lot of Taylor Swift fans, right? Taylor Swift casual fans, and they started looking at the game because of Travis Kelce, right? Colin Cowherd could speak to the casual fan who really wasn't immersed in football, knowing all of the nuances, the subtleties, the specifics of cover 1 versus cover 2, middle field closed, middle field open, over and under front. he made it really simple for people who didn't know much about football, didn't know much about the history of stuff. And he just said, well, it just whoever's got the better quarterback is just gonna win. It's just all about the quarterback. I don't know. If you got a good quarterback and a good head coach, you're gonna win. If not, it's done. But it's so much more to that. It's so much more to that. But it's palatable for the casual fan, and it grows in interest your platform. That's what that's the subtleties and nuances of uh content creation or advertising or politics. If you can just brush over stuff, because we're a headline society, we don't look into the paragraph, we don't look into the sentences, and we don't look into the structure of said sentences. We just go on a paragraph. And if somebody can say, oh, it's easy, if it's a good quarterback, then you're going to win. If not, it's that. I say all that to say this game is predicated on stopping the run and running the ball. It starts from there. From there, you then build on a play action pass. You then build on not only the play action pass, but the fake and the long bomb. It's not made from the long bomb back to running the ball. So, or stopping the run. And the importance of a linebacker is absolutely essential, because good championship teams start in the middle with good linebacking. If you go back and look at every Super Bowl champion, everyone, they've always had a notable defensive figure, and he probably patrols somewhere in the middle of the field. Just check me out. As a preacher, I want people to have what's called the Berean spirit. The Berean spirit is from the book of Acts, the 17th chapter and the 10th verse, when Paul said these people were more fair-minded than the Thessalonians, and that they searched the scriptures daily to see if these things were true. You want people to go back and look at what you're preaching about and where you got it, chapter and verse in the Bible. Go back and look at the history of good dynasties and good defenses in football. 76 Steelers, it had Jack Lambert. The 2000 Ravens had Ray Lewis. The 2003 Bucks had Derek Brooks. The 2013 Seahawks, they had Bobby Wagner. It just you had defensive staples to win championship games, to close it out. The Broncos, when they beat Cam Newton and them, who was MVP? Von Miller, right? Just check me out. Just fact check me. Go back and look. The winners are the defensive guys who have defensive staples, who perform immensely in big areas, in big times, in big efforts, and give big performances. Just, I ain't gonna lie to you. Check it. Doomsday defense. If you're Dallas Cowboy, go back and look at Randy White. Go back and look at Harvey Martin. Go back and look at Thomas Hollywood Henderson. If you're a Green Bay fan, go back and look at Ray Nitschke. If you're a Chicago fan, Mike Singletary was running the middle. You have to start with great defense. You have to, as Al Davis would say, the quarterback must go down, and he must go down hard. Al Davis knew what was up, man. Al Davis, he was a Brooklyn dude. He was from New York. Stoic. Let me shout out my people here. The Superman QB is a great hype narrative for the legacy media. Yeah, it is, man. And that's what they do. It just it makes them feel real good. You know, they get it in some kind of way. Pause, and they just be talking stuff. Me either, Callie. Cow Turd is a weird Niner hater. He is, man. I think some of that come from apparently Trey Lance had a little relations. Clutch the pearls. Let me drink like the morning show. Have y'all ever seen Petey Green on Talk to Me? When Petey Green said, "Yeah, I hear Lance, Trey Lance was with his woman." But you ain't hear that from me. Petey Green. Historic facts. Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm backing it. Kyler Young backing me up there. The best damn linebacker in the game. Yeah, bro. Yeah, Colin Coward defended Jimmy G, but hates on Brock. And he got to get clicks. He got to get people to watch him. He got to validate his salary. So in order to do this, the greatest way you can do it, and we lead the league in content creation by far, I think effective content creation. About 2 or 3 years ago, they did a poll of who has the most content creators, and they said the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers were like neck and neck. I think Kansas City had won a championship or two, but really, some of them shows, ain't nobody even watching them shows. I think they was just getting numbers just on, somebody did a Facebook post. But to get 49er fans who are based out of, the Bay Area, where Google was formed, where Yahoo was formed, where the internet, where Windows was made, when you want to get them riled up and maybe your show ain't doing too good, talk about their quarterback and immediately we will get on there, and I'm guilty of it. I will go back at him and he get a whole bunch of unnecessary clicks from the kid because I'm like, I can't believe you dummy. But that's just what they do. They draw us out. Dude said Brock isn't a real quarterback, not a franchise guy. And that's what they're gonna say, man. It gets his clicks. But over the period of time, look back in some of these great content creators, some of these great people. I think I put it in the message. Let's talk about it for just a moment. I was gonna do this tomorrow, but where's it at? Brock. Because it's been a lot of pouring out. And shout out to Brock's former teammate. That's what you really got to look at. Brock's former teammates don't owe him nothing. Deebo Samuels, Dre Greenlaw, and a couple of others don't owe him nothing. They have left and they're going on. Other teams are paying their salary right now. They don't have to say nothing. But the moment that Brock got his money, Deebo Samuels made it a point. Hey, bro, congratulations. You deserve it. Dre Greenlaw, hey, bro, congratulations. You deserve it. Those are the people that matter. The people that was in the building. And I'm of the ilk. I was out here fighting battles for Tom Brady. I remember the hate that people had for Tom Brady. Deflategate, cheater, this and that. He ain't all that. Bill Belichick, it's Bill Belichick's system. If it's members from my church on right now, you know who you are. I'm gonna go ahead and say his name because I'm godfather to his son, Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson, my uncle, a mousy. I was arguing with him in the stands as my cousin was playing against Carolina. He was talking about how great Peyton Manning was to Tom Brady. I'm used to these arguments. I've been doing this for 20 years, since 2001, 2002. I saw something way back when, before everybody else saw it. I know I'm familiar with this. So I forgot where I was going with it, but I know how people can get, and they will say what they say. Dude said Brock isn't a real QB nor a franchise guy. Nobody was a franchise guy until 2009. That's when they started throwing around this term franchise quarterback. And there's an article in Bleacher Report. It traces back to 2009 what constitutes a franchise quarterback. It is not that he was your number one pick. It is not that he was big. It's not that he was tall or could throw the ball out of the stadium. He had to be marketable. He had to have the belief of his teammates. He had to be able to be efficient in moments and win in the postseason. Those are just 4 of the attributes. And this is what Brock Purdy does. It is what it is. So anybody else telling you, well, he ain't real friend. He ain't my franchise quarterback. I would like somebody else. I think they shouldn't have paid him that money. They ain't got no answer. They're sitting and laugh at you when you out here trying to make Nick Mullins a household name. They'll sit and laugh at you while you're trying to make CJ Beathard into the quarterback you want to be. They'll sit here and laugh at you when you have nothing else. Hey, Will, I'm telling y'all to a man, this kid has done nothing short of spectacular given the circumstances and the odds that he has been brought before. I ain't seen nothing like it. I ain't said, well, I take that back. I saw a dude in St. Louis back in 2000. Trent Green goes down in the preseason, tears an ACL. I saw a guy from Iowa do this, wearing number 13. Deeply religious and devout man. I saw it happen there. Undrafted free agent. I saw a guy in 2001, before September 11th, 2 weeks before September 11th, Monday or Sunday night game, Drew Bledsoe gets crunched and has his lung collapsed. And I saw number 12 come out of New England and just hold it down. Just say with competitive fire, I'm coming up in here and I ain't gonna let it go. He was picked 199th. I've seen it before. And they can do. And they will do. They'll take you all the way to the Super Bowl. And it's different than Jimmy G. The people are making comparisons to Jimmy G all the time. I want y'all to realize something and take this with you and give this to all of the naysayers and the haters and the master debaters. I meant to say it like that. But Jimmy G had been in the National Football League for 2 years before he came to San Francisco. Jimmy G had sat on the bench. Jimmy G's got 2 rings already because he was the backup to the greatest that ever did it. They're acting like it was an even playing. Jimmy G is the same as Brock Purdy, and it ain't. Brock Purdy was carrying a book bag to class and trying to get a date and pop pimples a year before he was thrust into, hey, we need you to be the starter and beat these Miami Dolphins who's supposed to beat us and do a good job and run off five unanswered and put up 28 against the greatest quarterback that ever lived. And hey, yeah, go to Seattle. And the Redskins are pretty good. Fierce pass rush, beat them too. Okay. And then go to the playoffs and win a couple games. Make sure that happens. Yeah. Easy. Put up 41 against Seattle, our nemesis. Who's seen you before? Jimmy G ain't do that, man. Jimmy G ain't do that. Jimmy G had already been in the league, sitting on the bench. Jimmy G was like Justin Love. Is that his name? Justin Love up in Green Bay. Help me out, Callie. Am I getting that right? Justin Love, Jason Love, Jalen Love, whatever. Whoever sat behind Aaron Rodgers for 2 years on the bench and could learn and watch and see Aaron Rodgers, or if somebody sat behind Patrick Mahomes for 2 years and then came to the San Francisco 49ers, well, damn, you supposed to you better be able to do something. You were the most sought after person. Not the 7th round pick. You were the last pick. Last one. You were the guy with the funny socks and the dirty sneakers at the playground. Then nobody want to pick you. I'll take so-and-so. Now, I can't 100% lie and say I was that guy. I was kind of athletic and I always got picked. I did. But when we used to go to the court, we used to shoot. You used to shoot for who picking to get what you had open run or whatever, what have you. You just running down at the school at Laburnum, Pine Camp. Shout out YMCA, Richmond, Virginia. We used to do it like that. But you used to pick. You used to pick down at Pine Camp or whatever. And the last pick, you was like, dang, I guess I'll go ahead and take so-and-so. Thank you, man. Thank you, Tommy Huxley. Jordan Love. Jordan Love sat behind Aaron Rodgers for, I wanted 2 years, 3 years. That's what Jimmy G was. He had sat behind Tom Brady and got 2 rings, sitting behind Tom Brady, imitating Tom Brady, seeing everything, seeing being in the meeting rooms, imitating them and everything else. Brock Purdy didn't do that. Brock Purdy was at Iowa State holding it down. Iowa State. Here's another one too. Take this one with you, Golden Domers. And those of you who aren't Golden Domers. I did a comparison 3 years ago about Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy and really taking out their race, taking out stereotypes, taking out everything, and just judging them on the content of their character and the production of their performance. These two had 29 similarities. 29. To include throwing 80 touchdowns, 80 and 81 touchdowns in their college careers. A 1.55 10-yard split in the 40 compared to a 1.60. Both had active dads in their life. Both are incredible religious. I don't want to say religious. They're spiritual, devout Christian men. And about 24 other things. And Jalen Hurts wins the championship last year. But you dogging Brock Purdy. See, there's a chapter in the Bible that says God looks at the heart while man looks at the outward appearance. They 100% the same in the spirit. I'm crazy about both of them. I truly am. But for you to just say, well, he's Jalen Hurts, and all we got is Brock Purdy. Question yourself. Examine yourselves. Why are you saying that? Just saying. I'll close with this. If Trey Lance, who you drafted 3rd overall in, 2020, had come in his rookie year, taking you to the NFC Championship, averaged 33 points a game, blew out his arm, came back the next year in record time, and took you to the playoffs and to the Super Bowl and to overtime against Patrick Mahomes. Would you have a problem then? If Trey Lance had done the same thing, same stats, same record, same accomplishments as Brock Purdy, would you have a problem? Question yourselves. Question yourselves. I know I wouldn't. If Trey Lance would have came in his rookie year and did and produced like Brock Purdy, and then his second year took us to the Super Bowl, and within a muffed fumble and a missed blocking assignment of winning the Super Bowl, question yourselves. Question yourself. All y'all keeping it real. All y'all pessimistic, skepticism, cynicism, syllogism warriors. Are you really looking at the heart? Or are you looking at the outward appearance? That's all I got to say about that. Let me get to my chat, man. Y'all done got me on my, I was preaching a little bit. So, sometimes I have to preach to them. Fred Warner is in the fold. Our front office is getting things done. Amen. Glory to God. Glory to God. It's a little something for y'all at home. 73 old school. Yep, I agree. Hurts and Purdy's are quite comparable. They are, man. I'll pull it up tomorrow. My show will come on tomorrow. I was supposed to go with Wolfie at 12. Wolfie's taking a little sabbatical or a little time off or some other things. He can't be there tomorrow. He got a doctor's appointment. He talked to me. Shout out Wolfie. Hope I see you, man. But I might come on at 10. So y'all keep y'all like and subscribe to Terradome first and foremost, so you get all the latest and the greatest. You getting some good stuff here. Like and subscribe to Terradome. Ain't not the best, maybe, but they're good enough if you want to build a complete team. That's what it is, man. It's all about a team. It's the, you know, we can't play fantasy football, man. That fantasy football just doesn't ruin football. People think all you need is, you know, well, if you get a running back that can run for 10 points a game, well, we should win. No, it's not that, man. You got to have it all. You got to have it all. A dominant offensive line. That's the one thing I really want with the San Francisco 49ers. Every time I've seen a champion in my coming up, it's been a dominant offensive line. They will speak to you. Talk to them, TD. Thank you so much. People will still have a problem because a lot of people are bitches. Yes, sir. Shut up. Shout out Ty Austin. I know he's laughing at me right now because I was like Ron Burgundy from Anchorman, just reading it and not even paying attention. Shout out my man Ty Austin. Ty, we got to get together, man. This year coming up, we do our thing, man. Me and Ty and Kylie, man. Got to see y'all guys, man. I'm not a holy man. I'll say it. Like when the drill sarge told Pyle in Full Metal Jacket, you got guts and guts is enough. Man, this is football. Yes, sir. Football, Marines, Army Ranger, Air Force reconnaissance. You got to have guts. You got to get down. Don't sit around and talk about, man, looking at a sheet of paper and say, oh, well, you know, it says you run a 4.240 and I only run a 4.5, so I guess I got to give it to you, Laura. No, hey, man, this football. I bet I put something on them, or I got somebody who will put something on you. Yeah, this is the game. Tough men, made of tough men. Let's go here. Silverado Kev in the building. Let's go all pro, Fred. Yes. And that is my breaking news. All of y'all that have just come on to it. I see 20 that have logged on. It's an hour and 12 into it. I'm going to get ready to get off here and let everybody else handle their business who are normally on at this time, 6:32 on Monday night. I know y'all got to get some things going, but Fred Warner has come to terms with the San Francisco 49ers. We're looking at $63 million guaranteed on the extension, with 56 guaranteed. I'm sorry, 63 million on the extension and 56 million guaranteed. All pro Fred. I had his stats here earlier. I added to the stage. This is Fred Warner here. This is who we think he is. Let me expand it. Can I expand it? Will it go with that? No, it ain't going there. It go with the save chapter. But Fred Warner, man, he averages. On average, Fred Warner is going to give you 133 tackles a year. He's going to give you 84 solo tackles a year. 48 of them will be assists. He's going to give you 5 tackle for losses a year. He's going to hit the quarterback 4 times per year. A man is the sum total of his averages. He is. When I'm looking to just play pure money ball with it, or pure on just in my business of 911 emergency, I have to look at analytics all the time. And what we're doing is trying to plan for an unforeseeable event, that being let's say hurricane season. On average, we're gonna get 3 hurricanes a year in you know, two of them will be major in the state of North Carolina. Why? I just look back at the history, and this is what happens. So we got to prepare ourselves for different times of the year for hurricanes. And it will it happen exactly like I said it? No, but you can rest assured in my 15 or 20 years of doing this, it usually happens like that. We're creatures of habit, and people are going to produce how they produce, and people are going to do on average what they do. And the weather's going to go. That's where almanac comes from. Almanac will say, hey, on this day in 2 months, it's probably going to be 85 degrees in the state of North Carolina, or 86 degrees in the state of California or Kentucky or wherever it is, because it's just taken over time, just looking at the average of that day and says, this is what it's probably going to be. And the productivity of Fred Warner is nothing short of an example of why you want to look at that productivity. He's going to give you 133 a year, 133 tackles. That man do 133 tackles. That's good money. That's what he give you. Now, where it gets dangerous is when you try to buy that lottery ticket. That lottery ticket is you drafting, and he's never did it in the pros. You don't have anything to build on. You saw him in college, and he did good in a major college. He was in a Power 5. But college ain't always the pros. So you gambling a little bit on that. You gambling a little bit on that. You think it'll translate, and he'll grow into it, and he'll get a little bigger, a little thicker, a little faster, or something like that. But you don't quite know. You don't quite know. With Fred Warner, man, this is good money. 56 million guaranteed, up to 63 million dollars, as Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport report. I love when I can say Ian Rappaport. Sup, Terra Dog Crazy Juice says, what's up to you, my man? Kevin House, he getting house. David Corona out here. What up, everyone? He's shouting out. And I'm closing on up right now, ladies and gentlemen. I really want to thank every one of you to come in and share the joyous news. Not only is a righteous player getting, he said thicker, his ankle was cracked. Was it his ankle or his lower leg? Either way, like Ty Austin is saying right here, that man had a cracked ankle and still gave you 131 tackles. Jeez. Yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's that old school toughness. That's that tackle football. That's that real. We don't care about a defenseless receiver and stuff like that. That man's still flying around on a fractured ankle. A fractured ankle. Kylie Young reiterates. That speaks volumes to me. And it speaks volume to the organization because they see it as true football. I love having John Lynch, a Hall of Famer, a tough guy. If y'all really want to see some stuff, man, go back and look at some highlight films from number 47 playing at Tampa. I think he played at Denver a little bit too. John Lynch, hey, man, mess around you won't. Mess around you won't. John Lynch will come and see you out here. And I really want to shout out my organization, Parag Marate, for getting things done, man. We're getting to the business of football to kind of, you know, if it was questionable or superfluous, just the extras in the strap hangers a little bit, we kind of got away from that. We done moved on from some players who I deemed was really shaky. Whoever's got the eye right now, whoever is pulling the purse strings is really on top of it. Shout out to our organization for getting this done quickly and earnestly. Now we can really focus in on the business of football. We got opportunities here with a favorable schedule, at least as it pertains to success of last year. It's a favorable schedule, and we just really got to make the most of it. We're going to get healthy. We're going to get healed. We're going to get prosperous. Money doesn't change you. Money makes you more of what you already are. And when I see guys like George Kittle, Brock Purdy, and Fred Warner being paid, they not gonna turn around and be like, I don't know. I ain't gonna talk about nobody bad. I ain't gonna put my mouth on nobody. Pause. I ain't gonna say nothing wrong. But it's some people that will get money and say, "Whew, I made it. I ain't doing nothing else." No, these guys have shown you that they will give you heart and soul. And shout out to the 49er organization to identify these guys, pay them and reward them. And shout out to everybody who gets who they are, and the rookies and the young ones that are coming after. It just sends an incredible message in your locker room. Oh, they all about paying a George Kittle. I gotta be more like a George Kittle. It's very, 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 very easy. Very, very simple. If you want to get paid here in the San Francisco 49er organization, show us more George Kittle. Show us more Brock Purdy. Show us more Fred Warner. That gets infectious, and that gets into the spirit and the culture of your locker room of the San Francisco 49ers. You know, win, lose, or draw, man, I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. I really, really like it. And I hope you do too. I'm going to go ahead and get off right now. Remember, everybody, we walk by faith and not by sight. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you all for sharing. Thank you all for being here. Fred Warner, once again, paid $63,056,000 guaranteed. God bless. I will see y'all soon.